1-800-449-8255. I don't know what it is today, you guys. It's not hitting on all cylinders. I'm having technical issues with the Golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's behaving like a mere microphone today, you guys. I don't know why. There's glitches. There's a glitch in the shark tricks, you guys, for sure. It's not a matrix that you're all in. It's a shark tricks, because I'm playing a trick on all of you, but it seems like the joke is on me today. I can't even get the fucking videos to record or something. I don't know. It might be God trying to stall me or something. You know how they say God knows the truth but waits? I think Michael Savage said that. I don't know who originally said it, but something in the universe does not want me reviewing Ball. The Iron Butterfly third album, you guys, second one with the classic lineup. That first album is probably their best, and it doesn't have the classic lineup. It's got these other guys. But these two albums are good. This one, in my humble opinion, Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255, I think this is probably the best of the three. And yet, it's not a critical darling of an album, you guys. It didn't get the world's greatest reviews. It didn't sell a lot of copies. I mean, it did go gold, 500,000 copies sold back in the 60s, which is an awful lot, you guys. But that's largely on the coattails of the great In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida song and album. Now, that album, the middle album of the three, which is the huge album, you guys, it sold like 5 million copies. That one is my least favorite of the three albums, you guys. Some of the songs are troubling. They're problematic, you know, Most Anything You Want and Flowers and Beads, you know. But then there's killer shit like Termination, which is fucking awesome. And, of course, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, which takes up the whole side of, of the album, is killer, even though it gets a little monotonous and I get sick of it, but it is what it is, you guys. Now, this third album, they try to go normal or something here and make rock and roll, a rock and roll album. It's interesting, you guys, more than really good. The songs here are definitely heavy. It has all the elements of Iron Butterfly, but they go to another level here. And I wonder, what would one more album have sounded like with all four of these guys? But as legend has it, it's kind of like the Eagles, Don Douchebag and Glenn Frey and all that. These four guys could not get along. They couldn't be in the same room. And I'm not just talking about Ron Bushy. I'm talking about all of them. They just couldn't get it all on one page or something, or get all the ducks in a row. And it's a bummer, because I wonder, like I said in the other review I did of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, what would it have been like if Iron Butterfly could have held together the classic lineup for like 25 years and 15 albums? It might have been really fucking killer, you guys, but it's just a darn shame. It didn't happen, but thank God it didn't, because Rhino Reinhardt was meant to be, you guys, in this project. He came along, and then him and Lee Dorman formed Captain Beyond, which is my favorite fucking band, you guys, of all time. So maybe that's why the good Lord above did what he did here. We will never know, but we have to assume that's why. It was to please me, yours truly, Clark the Shark, and make sure that things go as planned in the Sharkulation. Not a simulation, you guys. This is a Sharkulation, and Captain Beyond had to be. And of course, Captain Beyond would splinter off into problems. Bobby Caldwell would leave the band. Rod Evans would leave the band. Bobby Caldwell would come back, but then Rod Evans would get into all that crap with the fake Deep Purple scandal. And he'd get sued and all that, which is weird because Deep Purple wasn't even around. They didn't get back together until like 1984, 85 or something, you guys. So that was a big bunch of shit that they did to Rod Evans. But anyway, back to the Butterfly and this album, this very interesting third album from Iron Butterfly. Heavy rocking, melodic, it's got it all. The keyboards, the heavy guitars, kick-ass drums by Bushy, and of course, Lee Dorman, one of the greatest bass players in rock. But these songs are very interesting here, you guys. Side one starts off with In the Time of Our Lives. Doug Engel, Ron Bushy. Awesome, you guys. 449. The best song on the album, I think, Me, Clark the Shark, but you got to hear it for yourself and decide. But the song Soul Experience is a song that we all know on side one. Track two, amazing song. I love that song. Very weird. Engel, Bushy, Brann, and Dorman. It's a democracy, you guys. They all wrote Soul Experience. They call this album psychedelic rock or acid rock, or it is proto metal for sure, but it's just hard rock and bluesy, kick-ass rock and roll. It's kind of generic. I'm not kidding, you guys. You might not like this album. A lot of you might listen to this and think it's mediocre or something, but listen again. It's good. Lonely Boy, Engel, that's really good. Killer song. The lyrics improve all over this album from the album before it. Real Fright, Engel, Bushy, Brann, awesome. It's all good here, you guys. Everything in the crowds. I love side one. All 5 of these songs are listenable. Almost like catchy or something, like they could be on the radio. They're not quite that good of songs to be on the radio type of songs, but they are solid rock and roll, very meat and potatoes. This album is as solid as when you take a baseball bat and you hit it on the cement hard and the cement just doesn't even echo or anything. It just absorbs it. It's like that, you guys. Maybe that's a bad analogy. I don't know. But it's hard rocking and it's kick-ass music. Side one is interesting. To me, Clark the Shark, side two is less interesting. It Must Be Love, Engel, 423. It's one of those songs, kind of sappy, but I like it more than the album before, Flowers and Beads, and all that, Most Anything You Want. It's kind of a continuation of that, you guys, but it's better. It Must Be Love. Her Favorite Style, Engel. Doug Engel, maybe to the detriment of the band, he really writes a lot of shit. But Her Favorite Style is good, and so is Filled with Fear, Engel. Possibly my favorite song on the album. I can't decide because this album is so solid and every song is so good. Beldebeest, Brann. Eric Brann, forgotten genius. He died way too soon, you guys. Rest in peace. He's gone. Sad. And so did Lee Dorman not that long ago. He lived to be like 70 or 75 or something. But Eric Brand went very young back in the 80s or 90s or something, long ago. I think Ron Bushy and Doug Engel are both still around in 2024, you guys. I'm not 100% sure. It's not a Waldo. I'm thinking they are, though. I'm not sure. Ron Bushy's such an asshole. He's like Don Henley. He can't die. He's too busy being a fucking dick to like everybody and all the time. Really, it's because of him that this band broke up or had all these lineup changes and they couldn't get it together. And as far as I know, I could be wrong here or right. Ron Bushy is always in Iron Butterfly. The other guys come and go. I think Lee Dorman is in it a lot. But Doug Engel is not always in Iron Butterfly. But Ron Bushy is. It's like he's the guardian of the band or something. But once bands start doing all these lineup changes is when I lose interest, you guys. And I just very rarely does a band hold it together where I, Clark the Shark, will lose interest. I think Zebra, that band, it's the same three guys from 1983, still today in 2024. A three-piece band of all things with great songs. Don't ask me how Clark the Shark lost interest. Somewhere along the way, somewhere along the lines of time, I lost interest in Zebra, and I regret that. But I never really lost interest in Iron Butterfly. And this third album is so interesting. It is why, you guys, it's hard rocking, it kicks ass. It's got its own signature sound. Every song is solid and good. I love the baritone singing from Engel, you guys, and the guitar from Brand. And even the asshole on drums, the fucking douchebag, Bushy, whatever. He's even fucking good. He kicks ass on drums. He's a lot better than Lars Ulrich from the Ruddles. And his son, Zach Ulrich. Both those guys fucking suck. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, 1-800-449-8255. Iron Butterfly, third album, Ball, 1969. Bluesy, psychedelic, rockin', kick-ass. I want to call this good time rock and roll, but no. You got to hear it. You got to buy this and judge for yourself. If you're a young person who's only 19 years old right now in 2024, and you were born in 2005, you especially, I want you to go buy Iron Butterfly's third album, Ball, at Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. And then email me and say, Shark, the damn review is broken up into three. It's like a rock opera, it's like a concept review. You got the overture, then you got, all this shit, and then you got the underture. I don't know, you guys, what happened today. But even I, Clark the Shark, it gets all off kilter, like all fucked up. I don't want to say helter skelter. It gets all not hunky dory some days. And I had technical issues today with the Golden EIB Sharkerphone. Today it is just a microphone, you guys. I don't know what happened. It malfunctioned or something. But anyway, forget everything you know about Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and that first album before it, because this third album will blow your minds. You are going to be pleasantly surprised here. And if you listen to this whole album once and you're disappointed, I want you to wait about 3 hours and then listen to it all again. It's very, very interesting. Bluesy, hard rock, ass-kicking rock and roll that's loud and powerful. They call it proto-metal. I don't. It's just rock and roll of that era, that time, the late 60s, not quite the early 70s yet. It's in that really good time when all these bands were making awesome, albums and awesome live shows. And it really is my favorite Iron Butterfly album, Ball, 1969, the third album. And mainly because it's so damn interesting. It's more interesting than good. It's more explosive and rock and roll and kick ass than it is catchy, you guys. And it's much more solid meat and potatoes than it is like, just something you put on. You come home from work and it ain't like that, you guys. This album is like a homework assignment. You got to do it and listen to it and study it and then give a report. It's like that because it's also kind of leaves you with an empty feeling because you wonder what could have been if Iron Butterfly had continued many, many albums, many, many tours, many, many years with the classic lineup with all four guys. I wonder, me, Clark the Shark, we might not have had Captain Beyond. Think about that, you guys. What would this world be without that first Captain Beyond album or the other two? Dancing Madly Backwards goes blending into, Sufficiently Breathless, and then Dawn Explosion. Doesn't even have Rod Evans on it. Those three albums would never have been had Iron Butterfly just kept on going and they never met Rhino Reinhardt, you guys. Or who knows, maybe Captain just wouldn't have had Lee Dorman, but it wouldn't have been the same, you guys. It was all meant to be right here on the Clark the Shark Show. Hey, buy this album for sure. The third album, Ball by Iron Butterfly. One of my favorite bands of all times, you guys. I really love this band. And I'm bummed that they were gone too soon, you guys. Rest in peace. They didn't last long. They did come back and play a lot of shows, touring, but it was never the same, you guys. Many different lineup changes. And I think only once or twice did they reunite with all these original guys. A couple of times in the 80s. And once again, they couldn't get it together. They just couldn't make it work. But check them out. And when you buy this at Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, you tell them you heard it from Clark the Shark. And I'm out of here. Peace.